Dr. Sudhindra, Chief of Lifestyle and Wellness at KIMS Hospitals. Today we are going to talk about ergonomics, that is, making your workstation the most efficient for you to work. That increases your productivity at no expense of your health. Before we go to the ideal posture at work, we'll look at various components of your workstation, which includes the work table or the work desk and the chair. At the work desk, it has three main components. One is the monitor, which is frequently you look at. Second is the essential part of the desk, and third is the less essential part of the desk. The essential part of the desk is designed accordingly if you are a right-handed. That is, the most often things used. Telephone should be on to your dominant side. That is, if you are right-handed, it should be on to your right-hand side. Whereas less often used things like files, folders should be, and water bottles should be on to your left side, because you are a right dominant person. Now we will discuss the second most important component of your workstation, that is the chair. The chair has different components. First, the height of the chair, which is approximately the height of clearance from the ground till the seat pan or the pan of the chair, which is where you sit on the chair. The seat pan, as you see, has an armrest on either side. In most of the cases, the armrests are adjustable. Whereas the depth of the seat pan is approximately the length between the front edge of the seat pan to the back edge. Ideally, the length or the depth of the seat pan should be approximately half the length of your thigh or greater than half the length of your thigh. Whereas this is the backrest, where the approximate height of the backrest should be near about touching the edge of your shoulder blade inferiorly, or that is the lower portion of your shoulder blade. And the curvature you find with most of the backrest is the lumbar support, as it contours with the shape of your spine, thus preventing any potential spinal errors. Most of the time, the chair, whether the height of the chair or the seat pan or the height of the armchair, are adjustable, thus making them more efficient for you to utilize without any future back or neck problems. Today's ergonomic session would concentrate on how effective can we use these adjustable components of your workstation to improve your ergonomics. Now that we have learned the different components of your workstation, we will now learn how to best or ergonomically use those components so that they increase your work. The tips which we advise are exclusively for people who don't have existing ergonomic related problems, either low backache or neck pain or any other pain like carpal tunnel syndrome. These tips are exclusively to prevent any ergonomic related stress injuries. To utilizing the components of your chair, adjusting your height of your chair, always ensure that the height at which your chair is helps you to rest the heel on the floor flat. The ideal posture involves both the heels touching on the ground and comfortably placed, so that the strain on your calf is avoided. Similarly, a strain on your low back is also avoided. Make sure that the contour of your low back is in synchrony with the contour of your back support. Any posture which encourages lifting or putting the weight on the toes and lifting your heel alters the contour of back, thereby encouraging a slouch, which put you at propensity for future back and neck problems. Therefore, it is mandatory that you ensure both the heels are grounded safe and your back is with the contour. At the same time, as you ensure your back is in the contour in your side view, make sure that your ears rest right over your shoulders. This will help you avoid future neck problems and poking chin. At the same time, also ensure that the height of the backrest is exactly touching the lower part of your shoulder blade or the scapula. This is a sufficient enough back support, and you don't need higher back supports or neck supports. For effective utilization of the width of your seat pan, always make sure that you shift towards the dominant side. That is, if you are right-handed, make sure that you utilize the width of the seat pan toward the right side, thus ensuring that your midline of the body is as close as possible to your dominant or working elbow. Now we'll utilize the length or the adjustability of your armrest. Armrest, as the name goes, actually supports your elbow, thereby reducing the tension on your arm. An ideal armrest height of the armrest should be good enough at the level of the keyboard or slightly above the level of the keyboard, thereby helping your elbow to be comfortably placed on at the level of the keyboard. To avoid problems at the wrist, always make sure that the base of the palm is supported just above the keyboard, not the base of the wrist, which is one of the common mistakes which most of the time people do. So with the palm, with elbow well supported and base of the palm well supported, this is an ideal way of utilizing the keyboard. Similarly, if your job demands more use of mouse, it is preferable that you position the mouse at the same level as the keyboard. This will ensure a consistency of utilization of the height of your armrest. Few frequent errors done are inadequate support for your arms, thereby creating a drag and traction at the elbow, the traction which shifts to your shoulders and then to your neck, thus resulting in neck problems. So ideally, the armrest should be at a height level enough at the level of the keyboard or slightly higher than the keyboard, and your bases of the palm well supported at the keyboard. In case you don't have any existing wrist problem, you should always maintain a neutral keyboard levels without the utilization of wedges. In the case where you use the keyboard above your desk, make sure that you are as close as possible to your desk, and again the armrest height at the level of the workstation, and a utilization of a gel pad will make the support for the base of the palm better, thereby enhancing your ergonomics. Also ensure that the monitor is at sufficient arm length distance from you. Always ensure, if you are using your desktop to support your keyboard, always make sure that you have a gel pad supporting the base of the palm. The ergonomics are similar to using the keyboard tray. Here, the height of the armrest should be at the level of the workstation or slightly higher, adjusting at the height of the workstation, and then with a gel pad supporting the base of the palm, the keyboard could be used in the same way. If we use the mouse for a longer time, make sure that the mouse is sufficiently placed closer to the keyboard. Now that the feet or the heels are well supported and the chair height exactly or ideally is suited, and then the arms well supported, let's discuss about the positioning of the monitor. If you are working on two monitors, make sure that the midline between both the monitors is exactly in alignment with the midline of the body, or the line where your shirt buttons are. And the height of the monitor should be adjusted to a height where the upper margin of the monitor is slightly above your eyebrows but below your forehead. This ensures that you get ideal extension time, so that you are not completely stressing your neck flexors by having a height below your eyebrow and repeatedly typing. So always make sure that the upper border or upper margin of the monitor is slightly above your eyebrows but below your forehead level. The distance, the ideal distance between your eyes and the monitor should be nearly one hand distance, as simple as that. And in case if you are using continuously, make sure that the monitors are at an angle from your view so that the glare is avoided. Similarly, the monitor should also be placed at roughly 10 to 15 degrees tilt from your eye, so that unnecessary exposure to the glare is avoided, thus reducing the incidence of eye problems in prolonged computer uses. It is recommended that you don't continuously sit down for more than 2 hours at your work. Since we have the flexibility of using a standing workstation, often keep using a standing workstation but not for more than 40 minutes at a go. Every 10 minutes, keep changing the weight from one leg to the other leg. Some modifications from your sitting posture to standing posture include to reposition the monitors as back as possible so that a sufficient desk space is created. Make sure that the monitor height is above the level of your eyebrows and the height of the workstation at the level of your elbow, so that the elbows or the arm is parallel to the ground. Also ensure that both the elbows are well supported and the base of the palm well supported on the keyboard. Avoid working in a standing position for more than 40 minutes at a go, and always ensure that there is equal weight distribution between both the legs. Few of the exercises which you could do or implement at your desk side include exercises of your neck, exercises of your wrist and fingers. We start with exercising of neck. For an efficient stretch of your neck muscles, always make sure that both your hands are placed right behind you, and always exercise with your eyes open and after every movement make sure that you get your head back to neutral. Also ensure that your ears are right above your shoulders. Few of the movements of the neck which you can repeat every 2 hourly include starting with an extension or looking a point right behind your head, holding it for 4 to 5 seconds and coming back to neutral. Similarly, trying to stay there at the neutral position for 3 seconds and then trying to touch your chin to the chest, holding it there for 4 to 5 seconds and then coming back to neutral. Similarly, trying to look a point right behind your right shoulder and keep staring at the point for 5 seconds and then coming back to neutral. Also includes the left side of your shoulder to a point right behind your shoulder, holding it there for 5 seconds and coming back to neutral. A progression of these exercises would be trying to touch your ear to the same side shoulder without lifting your shoulder up, holding it there for 5 seconds and then relaxing. Similarly, onto the other shoulder also. Make sure that in case you find giddiness, not to continue the exercises, and also do not exercise with closed eyes as it puts at a propensity for giddiness. After shoulder exercises, we can also go for few rotation exercises. Make sure because you always rotate your shoulders posteriorly very often as 45 minutes, as it relaxes the trapezius or the shoulder muscles along with upper shoulder muscles like rhomboids. Make sure that the circles are complete and you are trying to squeeze both your shoulder blades together posteriorly. Avoid forward rotations of shoulder as much as possible. Coming to wrist and hand, make attempts very often that you intermingle both your fingers and press them against each other so that a maximum stretch is created. Hold the stretch for 5 seconds and then relax. Similarly, repeat it 3 to 4 times while you are reading an email or while you are not working on your keyboard or mouse. Always make sure that very often you tuck in your chin so that your ears are aligned back into your shoulder and do these stretches. Few other general tips include taking a break every 1.5 to 2 hourly, going for a walk in the floor for 2 to 5 minutes and coming back. In case you can't go for a floor, always make sure that you go for an extension posture, that is where your lower back and upper back go into an extension while you are looking at a point right behind your shoulder. Similarly, always make sure that you do simple movements involving your lower body or the legs, where you tend to walk at a place. Try to keep walking at this place as long as possible, maybe for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. At the same time, keep pumping your ankles, whereby you can keep lifting your heel and then your toes, heel and then your toes. These tips help maintain the circulation as much as possible to your back, thus preventing cramps of legs and which happen generally over prolonged sitting. Thank you.